Boy, it feels like it hasn't been any time at all since we saw the original Gimme a Break Shijou Saikyou no Quiz o Ketteisen. It was only released 8 months previously, though a lot can change in 8 months. Gimme a Break was a variety show that aired all sorts of segments. One of the most popular of these segments was a quiz game. In between the release of the first and second Famicom games, though, Gimme a Break had been cancelled. In June, they announced that the show would be ending due to its low ratings. However, the quiz segment was so popular, it was spun off into its own television show, and that wound up running for a few more years after. Gimme a Break Shijou Saikyou no Quiz o Ketteisen 2 supports the party tap controller that came with the original game. This was a real squid of 6 buttons that you could plug into the Famicom's expansion port, so you could play 6-player quiz games, but every player's controls consisted of just that one button. There are 3 different game modes on the cartridge: Path to the Quiz King, Challenge Mode, and Party Mode. The Path to the Quiz King is the primary single-player experience. Set up your character, and then you take part in a series of quiz challenges where you have to get a certain number of questions correct before time runs out. If you're using the standard Famicom controller, you hit A to buzz in, and hit A to cycle through the answers. A distinctive thing about this game is that you're supposed to ring in early. If you wait until the full question is displayed, then you probably don't have time to ring in. If you manage to complete a round, you'll be given a password, and then you'll be able to pick up right where you left off. For Challenge Mode, you can choose how many human players and how many computer players there will be, how many questions you're playing to, how many incorrect answers you're allowed to give before you're eliminated, and if there will be any special bonus features like a slot machine that can reward you with extra points. And then you just compete head-to-head to see who will answer questions first. Party Mode is only multiplayer, and it really requires the Party Tap peripheral. It's a series of simple minigame challenges like who can hit the button the fastest. And that's it. It's a quiz game, there really isn't a lot to those. I will say that in the second game, the presentation has improved quite a bit. There's only so much you can do with a quiz panel, but it looks a lot nicer at least. For some weird reason, this isn't an especially popular game in Japan. Yeah, nobody goes back and revisits quiz games. This is a fairly rare Famicom cartridge. You don't see it go up for sale particularly often. But at the same time, it's also not especially expensive. It is a quiz game. And that kind of sums up my feelings about it too. I'd play this one over the previous game just because it has a better single-player mode. But it's still a quiz game where the questions are 30 years out of context. If you weren't in Japan in 1992, then playing this one's going to be even harder. That's not a knock against the game. When it was released, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It's just there isn't a whole lot here for somebody coming at it 30 years later.